As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement, yes, I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P&L, my statement of cash flow. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Gilbert Buchanan, and this is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and your small business paramedic. Today is March 16, right?
March 16th, and it is actually Women's History Month, and we're celebrating women and
that's
their
right.
accomplishments and all the things that they're doing, and we got some interesting stuff going on in the world, and so maybe it's just time that the world needs to be run by women.
Time that the women get their opportunity to run this thing.
Right, because the men are behaving very badly.
That's what I'm saying.
Very
They need to be put in the corner.
Yeah, they have gotten so out of control that it's just too scary for words, actually. Yeah. So it's time.
And Crystal, as we do, like we like to do here, we always promoting women-owned businesses and women entrepreneurs, trying to get them to the next level, helping them to build their capacity, as well as helping them to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready.
Exactly, because it's important. And I'm going to read a couple of things that I found in celebration of this month. And women themselves. I mean, we just watched the news, and you've been watching over time what women have been doing, and it's been some big things going on in the world. So I found some statistics that I thought was kind of interesting, and it was, we've always thought, or traditionally people thought, that the business world or the business landscape was a man's world, but when you really think about it, the decisions that are made, even on a consumer level between man and woman, the woman is the one that makes the major decisions.
That's
right.
True. That is
true. Some of the statistics that I found was 94% of the purchase decisions on home furnishings is the woman.
That's true.
Vacations, the woman. She makes 92% of that. 91% of home purchases, the final say is her, because that's where she's going to live. And it's all based upon the kitchen and the closets and where the children going to sleep.
That's right.
And then your health care is usually a decision of the woman.
Yeah.
Family cars. When they're married, the wife makes the decision
they
on what
decide which car should be purchased.
Right, exactly. So, and even on your consumer electronics. I mean, because if she's going to go she's the one doing all the shopping.
Yeah.
So that's really why all the decisions.
So she's pretty much the CEO then.
She's the CEO of the household, man. Most of the time, you don't even have underwear unless she's buying it. Underwear and socks.
And the thing about it is, she has a budget, and she makes that budget stretch to fit everything. Isn't that amazing?
Well, that's why it's not a far reach for a woman to be the president of the United States. Yeah. Because when you look at what the core skill sets are, is budgetary. Yeah. So they're excellent at that, right? Especially if they're raising children and they have more than one child. So now they got to spread the house. They're also very good at of dividing their attention and multitasking, because she has to do that, right? And work outside the home.
So managerial and administration,
right?
And leadership.
and leadership, mediation. Because if you got children and you're mediating between all five,
you go in that corner over there. You over there.
Right, exactly. As my mom used to say, she has eyes in the back of her head, so she can see.
And I believe that too. I believe my mom had eyes. I believe she had 4 eyes in the back of her head. She knows what's going on.
Right, she knew, and you didn't even like. How does she know that? Right.
Like, sometimes she said stuff to me, and I'm grumbling, and I'm under my breath.
Right.
She's not supposed to hear that. I heard that. I'm going, darn.
Right. How did she hear that? She knew when you were lying, so she knew when people lied.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. She's a lie detector.
I mean, moms have super skills.
I'm telling you, man. So instead of us celebrating women just for this month, we should be celebrating them all year.
All around, because they
long.
make the world go round, boy, right? So this is not a farce reach for a woman to be the president of the United States because she has to do, that's her regular duties.
I think it's going to happen soon, though. I think within the next 2 cycle, it's going to happen.
Well, after what we're watching and seeing right now, it's something big has to change.
Oh, yeah.
But even in our corporate worlds that we now have, I was reading also out of the 21 of the Fortune 500 companies will have women as CEOs at the helm by 20. That was like 2013.
Wow.
So this is a little outdated, but when you look at leading companies, so Hewlett Packard has had a woman, and IBM had a woman, and Yahoo had a woman, and so then half the world, half of the corporate leaders in China are women.
Oh wow! In China,
half of that. In India, you have more CEOs than the United States. Females. So
that's some major steps right there. That's some major steps. Yeah, we need to catch up.
Yeah, so we're behind when you really think about it. And so some of the things that women, I think, are very, very good at, and you know this because you prefer doing business with women. Yeah. For women, relationships are very, very important to us. We will go the distance. Mainly, one, because the first level is your parent, relationship between your parents.
Right.
Yeah, generally, the woman is the one that nurtures, and the mom nurtures that. And so there's usually a long-term relationship between a mom and their children.
That's right.
So that's the first level of relationship. We have girlfriends from the very, very beginning of time, and we're nurturing those friendships, right? Yeah. And then when you go to college, you're nurturing friendships. So we're always in that place of nurturing and grooming friendships. Right. And most of our friendships are long-term.
That's true.
And we have interaction with our friends, at least, maybe daily. But even if it's been long term, I know I have some friends that I don't see every day or every month. But when we come together, it's just like we were together whenever the last time we were together.
You know what's amazing to me? You could have 2 women who just meet at an event. And all of a sudden, they start acting like they're buddies from a long time ago. And I'm going, wait a second, you guys just met. And then they know everything about the other person within a few minutes. Right,
because we know how to ask the right questions. and you're feeling, because we're emotional, right? And we get our instincts from our feelings.
Right.
And so we can determine right off whether or not that person is emitting warm, fuzzy feelings or
fake
feelings, right? So we can identify that right off. So those are some of the things that women.
That's amazing. I like that. Where do you get that?
This was under. It's under an article called "The Growing Power of Women in Business," and it's called "Big Think."
You should send me a copy of that.
I'll send it. And then the other thing it talks about is women are big picture. We think of big pictures, right? And they said that we are intuitively great system thinkers.
Yeah.
And putting puzzles together. Wow. Although they usually think that men are the problem solvers, but we kind of look at all of the pieces. Again, it comes from growing up with a parent, that a mother that had to keep all the pieces moving at all given point in time.
Kids acting out of turn and doing whatever.
Right, exactly. You've seen that commercial where the mother
is
says,
it Allstate or is it Allstate?
No, she has a cold. And she's like, okay, mommy is not, the baby's in the crib and mommy's off work today. She's not coming. It's like, oh, heck no, that ain't even happening, mommy. I don't know. Daddy can do whatever he wants. What are you talking about?
I remember that commercial.
Yeah, so that's kind of the given there. It's just, no, they don't get off. You get to do. And
unbelievable.
And another thing that we do very well is we collaborate well. Because, again, it's all part of that.
It's all about the end product, right?
Right. It's all about the end product.
Picture. Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, just joining us, this is a great conversation. I love these conversations because, as you know, we're talking about my special type of clients. So I always want to talk more and find out more about this group. So we're talking about women. This is the month of women. We're celebrating women the month of March here at the Business Zone. And I would love for you guys to call us in, call Crystal and I, and share your thoughts, share your ideas, give us some feedback. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375.
Yeah, so that's just some of the things when we think about women and why we celebrate them. And it really should be celebrating for life, for a whole year, just like Black History or any history, right? It's really very important.
Yeah.
And I think today, with what is going on in Washington and that particular administration wanting to demean and diminish the power of women, because that's really what that's about, right? Yeah. Anything, the rape, the abuse, that's all about intimidation.
Yeah, that's not going to last for too long, though.
Yeah.
It's not going to last
for too long. We're in a complete uproar. It's in a complete transitional period.
Because when people realize that the head of the helm is behaving like that, then that's when they come together. They coalesce. They come together. They form united groups. Yeah. And then they take action.
Right. Exactly.
So, and we've seen it. We've seen a lot more women being voted into Congress. A lot more women taking on leadership roles. Coordinating, so it's going to happen.
And the children, I am just so impressed with the kids nowadays. I mean, those kids, they coordinated a massive walkout last weekend, and they're like, "Bring the detention on," because this has to change.
It has to, and they're phenomenal. I mean, they're going, "Hey, you don't want to listen to us, we'll vote you out."
No, right, exactly. And there was something that I saw on Facebook last week that this young man, and it's sad actually, because he was 7 or 8 years old, and he told his mother before he went to school, "I need to write my will." Wow. Because I may not come back. Wow. Now, that's some serious stuff. And this kid was in elementary school.
That is deep.
Yeah. And he said, I needed to write my will because who knew if I was going to come back from school just like those kids. So that's why we have to listen to our children. And the adults are behaving so badly. That one congressman, I think it's a GOP senator, saying that the young girl that got the short hair, he called her a skinhead lesbian. Yeah. And then the young man a liar.
How do people let them get away with stuff like that?
I don't even understand how you talk to children like that.
Yeah. How do people let them get away? That's just so ridiculous. It's uncalled for, unethical, and it's just not how those Congress people are supposed to behave.
Well, no, you're right, because they work for us, first of all.
Exactly.
So just think about it. And, of course, politics and maybe politics to a certain extent. In the business world, and we've already seen it happen, because I read an article with the destruction of Steve Wynn. Now, that's a corporation managed by the shareholders of the Wynn Corporation, right? Yeah, yeah. Now, granted, it was his business, but the stockholders realized, what the heck is this man doing? And as they kept going deeper and deeper and doing their research, it got so bad that they fired him. So that's you starting your own company and someone behaving, because your behavior has a direct result and consequences to the health of the whole company. So now, of course, Trump could do that in his company because there were no board members. Yeah. He really, truly is a sole proprietor. because he has complete control of his whole empire, right?
He is a sole
so
proprietor.
if he had been a full-blown corporation where you had board of directors and stock, and he was a public-owned company, he wouldn't be able to do what he was able to do.
That's right.
But he was like a sole proprietor because he managed everything. And nobody ever punished him for his bad behavior.
And he's trying to run the White House the same way.
And that's what I read today. That exactly. And the way they do the fast lose with the money, because he bragged about always being in debt. And he, I think I heard something this week that Ivanka was saying they had come outside of one of the their towers, and there was a homeless man on the street, and Trump was bragging that homeless man probably had more money than he did, because he was in so much debt because everything was leveraged to the hilt.
Oh my Lord!
So we say, well, now you put us trillions of dollars in debt. That means nothing to him because that's the way he ran his businesses, fast and loose like that.
And that's going to affect our grandchildren. Right,
exactly. But I think if there's ever an argument in the future when people say, well, we want to elect someone that is a businessman,
you're going to have to take a second look.
You have to take a second look, because you and I know for sure that all businesses are not equal, and that majority of the businesses are not being run properly.
That's true.
Right? So
we know that.
That cannot be our barometer for someone that can run the country.
Yeah.
Because when you pull back the layers, you pull back the onion skin, and you're going, this business is not right. Because on the outside, the business could look extremely successful and look well.
You and I have looked at hundreds, thousands of businesses. We see it. Even though some folks are saying, oh, my business is successful and we're doing great. And then you take a look at the balance sheet, and I take a look at their organizational plan and structure, and we see different.
Right. Because if you and I had actually, let's say any of us or anybody that does what we do for a living, right? Yeah. And you had to go into Trump before he became president and before he even started to run and do a forensics of his business, you would have said, no. Well, first of all, we already knew 6 bankruptcies, which were not organizational. They were bankruptcies. That would have told you right then and there. Because anytime you're filing bankruptcy as a routine strategy for business, no, you don't know how to run the financial piece of your business.
That's their growth strategy? Come on.
Right, exactly. Or to be so far leveraged in debt. Yeah. What business can function with that much debt?
It's like me buying a house, waiting for it to be repossessed, thinking that that's a great strategy.
Right, exactly. And that was the strategy with the recession that people bought. This was people used to say back in the 2006 and 7. It's like, oh, this is a great time to buy a house. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, maybe I'm rolling right now. But if I'm paying interest and I'm working for someone now different if you're independent and you're entrepreneurial. But if I'm working for someone, the only raise I'm going to get is minimum about 3%. Right.
Yeah.
And if I'm lucky. Yeah. And there's no other outside influences, right? But my mortgage is going to go up 15%. So that's just do the math. So what's going to happen in that next 7 years?
Yeah, just doesn't add up at all.
It's never going to add up.
Yeah, that's a deficit. That's a deficit.
So that was the thing. Like, no, you can't get an interest-only loan, and then 5 years from now they're gonna get you a balloon payment, and you're gonna be able to pay the whole thing back.
That's crazy.
Oh no, I'm too rational for that kind of thought process. So.
Well, hopefully, with our skills and expertise, we'll be able to help a lot more of these small businesses in the community recognize those types of things so they don't fall into those ruts. Because a lot of businesses, as you know, the financial piece, that's their Achilles heels. They don't want to touch that at all. They're going, oh, that's not for me. My bookkeeper will take care of it.
Exactly.
My accountant will take care of it. And they never do.
But you have to have some, because obviously I've done enough troubleshooting for accounting that you assume that the person that's doing your books know what they're doing, and then once you start getting in there, no, I get that every time I go in and do some troubleshooting. It's like, oh, what the? And of course, the person doesn't have the knowledge.
They don't.
So they have no clue whatsoever.
You're going, what the heck was this person doing in here?
Right, exactly. And you have to kind of go back, and I'm working on a case, right? A client right now is like, whoa, this is this, and I mean, this is for someone that's supposedly saying that they knew how to use QuickBooks. Yeah. These are basics that I'm finding. This is not even involved forensics. This is like you didn't even know how the software worked.
So they're getting a lot of fake news out of their system.
Yeah, a lot of fake news. Yeah, there you go. Fake news, a lot of fake numbers.
Yeah. So they think they're good. They think they're good, but they're not.
Right, and if you've been taught properly, you can kind of can look at something, and I can eyeball it right away to see. It's like, oh, those are duplicated.
Yeah,
those are duplicated entries. So that's going to affect the income and affect the expenses. Oh, yeah. So